You must get this. Every thought exists at a certain threshold of energy. If more energy pumps through your body, guess what? You get better thoughts. All there is experiencing energy of creation. The space is sacred, filled with the sacred space, filled with light, filled with love, and it's pure, and it's right, and it is whole.
New day, new goals, let's own it. And in this special edition of Leaders Create Leaders, we're getting ready to meet up with someone who is a legend. I mean, when I got the phone call that he would actually come to my charity event and really perform his methodologies around energy and the spinal cord, you know, on our entire team, I freaked out. Oh! Yes! Just got off the phone with Dr. Donny Epstein. And I'm so excited because I got an opportunity to sit down with him and really learn about his entire journey with really becoming the leader of understanding energy. And, you know, something that he's the pioneer in network chiropractics. You know, he's the founder of something called Energetics, and really both Deepak Chopra and even Tony Robbins has said that his methodologies are some of the most powerful that they've ever seen at tapping into the healing powers that we all carry within us. So I want to get into all of this, and you know, let me know in the comments, do you believe in energy? You know, how powerful the energy is that we all carry, and how we can use this energy that's within us, that's around us, really consciously for the world, you know, for ourselves, for our business, for humanity. And we're going to tap into all of that, as well as relationships, entrepreneurship. So we're about to sit down with the one, the only, the legend himself, Dr. Donny Epstein.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful that you are here, really, genuinely. And I feel that I've been manifesting a lot of things in my life. You know, as an entrepreneur, basically you feel that way when you're, you know, when you talked about this earlier when you worked on me, right? When you have that drive, it's almost like you kind of, no matter what, you have this, you know, this emotion that creates motion that eventually creates things that you believe are possible. But over the past 3 months, there's been a shift in me as an entrepreneur.
Well, the strategies you used, as you know in business, the strategies that get you to one point will hurt you at the next point.
Right, and you mentioned that down when you just worked with me, and that really hit home for me.
So what happens is this, is that, especially with the male, the masculine energy, we're conditioned that we have to be scarred, we have to be wounded, and then we're worth something. Okay. That the more effort we put in, the more we're valued. That's a model that is outdated, and it works at a particular point in time. It's like said, most people die once, athletes die twice. Once when they stop pushing in the sport, and the second the rest of their life. Because the strategy that works to push and push achieve will not work for anything that you truly value long term. Because most of the time we want to achieve to prove we're somebody on some level.
Right.
Okay. There's 3 stages they have. I call them seasons. The first season in life, we want to prove it's not our fault. We want to move away from pain. And we just want to prove we're not a nobody. We want to avoid being a nobody. That's it. So then as we learn to develop this illusionary thing called a mind or a sense of self that tells us what we can think and we can't think, we get to next season. The first one's called discover, transform. And in transform, we're going to decide what goals, what we can achieve. We're going to make it happen.
Because if I'm a somebody, you can't say I'm a nobody. Prove I'm a somebody, you get your PS, then MS more the same, PhD, probably deeper, and the numbers you have, the followers you have. I mean, it's all identified of your success. But does that allow you to feel grateful? Does it feel love? The gratefulness is not the numbers. The gratefulness is the impact you make on people. Mm-hmm. And those times, it's effortless. The third part is awaken, where you're not trying to create something, produce something. It's just where you already are, and you feel gratitude. At this point, you find out you are a nobody, but you're connected to everybody. So the pain was not being a nobody. It was being a nobody connected to anybody. It was separate. And the difference between illness and wellness in any area in business and life is I-ness or we-ness. That's the difference. So at this point, if you bring energy to any system, your business, your relationship, whatever, it's consistent with its nature, it instantly and effortlessly becomes something else, because the same force that make the sun, the moon, the stars, the mountains, the trees, it takes no effort, it just happens. Mm-hmm. The mind can't accept that, because the mind says, it's me, I'm separate, I have to prove myself. So for most people, especially most men, the pain of being nobody has pushed them to produce. You can never move ahead.
To just keep producing for that validation, for that approval, that success.
What it really is, you're not looking for success, not you or anybody else. You're looking to avoid something. Mm. And as long as you're moving ahead to avoid, you're not in your nature.
Right. Do you believe that is partly the ego?
Yeah, and the ego is important. Understand, the spiritual, some Eastern philosophies say you must eliminate the ego to reach spirituality. That's a game made up by mind to keep it in business. Listen to this. The ego is defined as that process to develop a sense of self. It's defined as the sense of self is a process, listen to the process of selective and imaginative remembering. It's bullshit. It's whatever you play over again of past encounters, significant objects and events in your life. So the mind is just conditioned by who you believe you are supposed to be to fit in and be accepted. And then you build it more and more with big castles. There's a difference between moving away from something and truly moving forward towards. It's the difference between having less and more. What I'm about, I'm the more man. If you want more, to be more, to give more, to know there's more than the physical universe we have, you know that. But that's your centricity. You're just guided, because this is it. Either you're looking to search for something to fill an empty opening, or you listen to the calling. You listen to the calling, but in the process you start searching again. And that's what the struggle is.
Yeah.
There's no push. What if you were already there? Oh shit, my identity is how much effort I'm putting into it. That's the problem. You want to serve the ego and build the ego. You want the mind to be so full and so much that the mind starts occupying the space out there of soul. And then you have the hunger, there's more, and it's beautiful. It's more, and it's beautiful. You see, what happens is that soul, I call the soul energy, usually connects with people after they've achieved, after they produced, after their parents have died, maybe the 50s or 60s, and they had enough loss to realize, I am not that. My mom died and said, wow, who do I have to prove it to? And my father died, and I said, shit, who am I now? The point is, there are many people who early in life found out the mother or the father or the culture couldn't protect them. They felt they didn't fit in life. They decided college is not for me. I can't handle this. There's something more. You know you're not accepted. You haven't been accepted. You stop looking to be accepted. Instead, you realize this energy. Use that soul energy, some energy you experienced just before. With your every place. And your body just wants to rise up like that. You just want to love. Doesn't matter achieving. And when that energy connects, people very often have been raped or abandoned or beaten or alcoholic parents or something of that nature in life. And they use the energy to know if it's safe in the space between us. And they use the energy for safety, therefore achievement is security, and love is security. The purpose of spiritual energy, or soul energy, is to rip through the mind, help you realize there's more, and it's the greatest force of instability. It'll bring to a person or event to your life that in a moment you realize, oh my God, everything I thought is not right. And what happens, you get to see the commonly unseen. You get to hear the commonly unheard, feel the commonly unfelt, and realize that it's not about my matching my list, and that's it. And for you and all the entrepreneurs, I'm telling you, everyone you know who's finally achieved it, if that's the goal is to achieve, no matter what you tell yourself, you're miserable. Because what happens if you give up 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, that when this happens, I'll finally feel joy, I'll finally feel acceptance, finally live. If you don't have it now, you're not going to have it then.
Yeah.
The idea now is take that spiritual energy and let it rip you apart. So everything you thought that was true falls away, and it's replaced by everything is true, and you're free. Then there's a calling, an energy that brings people to you. You just go, fuck, how did this happen? I didn't have to do anything. Because then it's your beingness that does it. Now get this, when you're in an awakened state, people accept everything. So how do we go with, this is the key thing, how do we go with the difference? How do we move with the difference between the rules of the outer world in business, where you cannot accept it and you must make it better, and the world, the inner world, where you have to accept it as it is? The idea when you see it as it is, and Tony Robbins teaches it is at the same time better, that's it. But you must first have a moment to accept the way it is okay at that moment. Nothing changes until this acceptance of the way it is. Then things can really, really change wonderfully. So the answer is your cycle of pushing to finally feel accepted, finally that is over. Because then the part that feels unauthentic, the more you achieve, this is not right, is because you, not you, all of us.
Right.
You know, I've just had a few more years to have a chance to be with them there and experience.
I kind of wanted to go into, I mean, your work is so profound over the past 30 years, but I feel at this point it's some of the most important work for our generation, because I feel like for us and just for humanity, we're facing an epidemic where we're the most connected that we've ever been because of technology, but we're most disconnected with each other and with ourselves. And I feel that that's because we haven't truly tapped into that acceptance, haven't tapped into the energy of the universe that you talk to, or the collective mind. So
faith is lost. That's destructive. You're in a meal and you have to automatically go to a device. You connect to people, but don't have the vulnerability of them ripping your heart apart. Relationships about certainty. You say, I don't like this because you don't like what's happening in the relationship, because when the relationship gets good, it's going to rip you apart and realize you're more than that. And you say, I'm out of here. What people want immediate gratification.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. It's part of the process. It's not a challenge. The real challenge is the loss of romance. Seduction. The divine seduces. Everything that calls you seduces you. A guy, I'll tell you, he would do anything, fight a battle to come back to possibly kiss a woman. The Beatles said, I want to hold your hand. That was it. Just hold your hand and be with you. Not with my concept of you.
Right.
Souls, not roles. It's a big difference. I gave a talk to 50 of the largest companies in Italy, and it was taking my technology I use on people and saying, what can we have? And this is a situation that's important in Italy. I was called to this keynote to Human Resource Department. In Italy, you can't fire anyone. Okay? You can't. No matter, even they're inept. You have to pay for years so you can't. It's more socialistic in that way. Also, only 10% of millennials were employed. This is a couple of years ago. 2% employed, only 10%. So you still have the baby boomers there and the Generation X. And now the company is asking people to have group work environments, share space, and work in teams. And they're hating it. They're hating it. Business of energy is there. So I'm called in. It's a situation that can't be fixed. How do I talk about that? What do I do? I started with the song Sole Mio, Italian song. An Italian man, it's so Italian, is singing.
Oh, sole mio.
That's it,
right?
Right, that's it. And they're singing, basically, my sun, my light is brighter than the light of the sun, and I shine my light. It means I bring energy to you. Okay, there. Then I said, look at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. What country would have a symbol of building a streak and falling down? Switzerland? No. America, we repair it. What country? Germany? No. Italy, what the appeal of Italy is the seduction. Seduction means you have massive instability at the time, massive uncertainty, but the promise of something better. And that's excitement, that sexiness is what drives it. I said, so this is it. I had real challenges in my concept as a baby boomer and all the social
media
and things of what's going on. And I said, the millennials, they won't work a job here. They want to hang out with their friends. They don't want to raise in salary. Let them go with their friends. What's going on? Can't they make a decision themselves? Don't they want to work? I mean, don't they? And all the stories. And I said, until you value something, you can't impact it.
Right.
Whether it be your pain or whatever it is. You're trying to make a pain go, you can't help someone in negotiations so you value it.
100%.
Whatever you experience the most energy with, you value. When you drop energy, you don't like it. So that I have to experience this differently. And I went, oh my God. It was like a, oh my God moment. Or you may say OMFG, okay? That type of. And what was it about? I said, that's it. You know, the grandparents pass the spiritual truth down, not the parents. The parents condition you to fit in the world. The grandparents' job is to help you be happy, to get the rules of it. One of my daughters years ago said to me, Dad, I have to talk to you. I have to meet my boyfriend. I have to talk to you. So I said, you're pregnant? She said, no. I said, oh, what do you mean? I said, and then she said, no, we're talking about getting married. I said, that's really, really great, wonderful. I said, but if you want to have a baby, I have another grandkid, it's okay. I said, Daddy, you would never tell me that. And you'd ask me, what is he doing for a living? And I said, are you his queen? Does he light you up? Are you more of a woman? Can you love more? Is your circle of friends bigger? And you said, I asked him, because you're with my daughter. I have a question. Do you mess with her mind enough to realize that what a guy thinks is not enough? Will you guide him by telling him what makes it better and what's wrong? Will you never try to, will you, and I said to him, will you support her? Will she be your princess no matter, will you support her no matter what? He said, yes. And I said, that's it. Your job is to create stability for her. Her job is to fuck with your stability. As long as you understand that, you got the relationship there. But she said, you would have never told me that before. I said, well, now I'm a grandfather.
Right.
And my job is to bring this down. This is it. Your generation is the salvation and the gift of what we wanted to bring to the world.
Right.
Once I realized that, that's it. My father, my parents, they fought in World War II.
Yeah, my grandparents did.
My father, he landed in Africa and was a foot soldier all the way up and saw Mussolini, from Africa, Mussolini hanging. He went all the way up to northern Italy. He fought his life for that.
Wow. And
now, in World War II, Vietnam War came, and I said, we're not fighting. I listened to what Eisner and Kennedy said about the industrial complex and we said, we're not going to do this. Our generation said, love, peace, and rock and roll. Just make love. They put a gun inside the rifle of the thing, of the soldier. We went into, my generation went to communities. And I realized every generation ends someplace, sets it up to two generations where the spiritual message is, and just like this, you're here to fulfill what your grandparents could never fulfill.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I agree with that.
And that's where your liberation is going to be.
Yeah. We have the opportunities we have because of the sacrifice, whether it's our mothers, our fathers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, our ancestors.
But in certainty, when you think you already know it, you listen to only the music you like, go only place you want, you're running, you have to listen to that, you've separated yourself. And the idea of what is the physical sensation like, what is the biological stuff, what emotions do I feel, without figuring out what it is, just being with it in the moment. Being with the seduction of life without trying to control it, that's it.
We are brainwashed, you have to understand. We also grew up as the generation that was constantly, whether it's corporations, the food we eat, technology, the education system, you know, just
you're sold.
We're sold. We're constantly sold. And now it's a never-ending scroll. Information. We're told what to do before we even have a chance.
That's right. The amount of you have to deal with in one day. People now, one day we need to deal with in years. Information. You need a nervous system, an information system, carries enough energy to adapt to it. Let me get the next part here of this. So, you say, I'm not going to work these hours and give up being with my friends and my family. My quality of life is important. You have your community, your online community, it's not the commune. You say, the system must change, there's too much bound energy. I don't respect intellectual property. I was like, what? You're taking a picture of me and putting it on the internet? Who, what, why? You're at a seminar of mine, you're taking the material I have and you're showing it to people? How dare you?
Right.
Because I came from the joy that life is about binding the energy and holding for myself, and whoever gets the most wins. But the people I know like that have been miserable. Mm-hmm. You're seeing it.
Right.
You're seeing the parents and grandparents live in that model of breaking up. You're seeing that you're undoing what billion-dollar companies have.
Right.
Okay, but now this is it. There's a new tier of consciousness coming.
We see the light. We're 100% like.
And you know it, but now the skill sets of what you missed have to come in.
Correct. The fundamentals.
Experiencing the raw and real energy. You want to do it. Being okay with the uncertainty. That's where the romance comes in.
So
let life romance you.
Right.
Please. You know, hey,
that's the question. Like, I get it a lot. It's like, how?
Stop. Put it this way, a simple way in your language. Stop going for the cum shot. Start having the immediate gratification. Realize, this is one of the things I told my daughters when they said, showed me earlier. I said, never let a man see your naked body who doesn't first worship your naked soul.
Ooh, wow. Woo! I'm telling my future daughter that.
Hey, listen. Why should they buy the why should they buy the milk if they already have the cow?
Wow.
I said, this is it. It's about seduction.
Yeah.
But I want you to feel the romance of that. Okay. The romance. I mean, guys, if you're with a woman or man, whoever you're with, just shut the fuck up. Feel her. She doesn't want you to understand. When she says, understand me, she doesn't mean that. Understanding and love are two opposite directions. She says, if she's going to make sure she's going to be feminine, you'll never understand her. Because that's her job. It's a mystery. The thing is, what she's really saying is, love me even when I'm crazy and wild.
Yeah.
That's what
I can relate to that.
That is what the creative force tells you. That's what spirit tells you. It's like a feminine energy. The thing I hate more than most other things, and very things I hate, and I used to hate it, now I just tolerate it, is when the feminine says, tell me more. Well, I say to feminine, tell me more. I think she's finished the conversation. I didn't get the tone when she says, I'm not finished, asshole. Okay, but that type of thing there. Tell me more. Even, you talk about fear, the greatest suffering turns to joy when you're with it, without the hunger to understand it, to figure it out, to push it away, to judge it, or to make it something else. The feminine energy requires our presence. Then it's lit up. Not our solving it, of fixing. It's a lesson of how the creative energy works. So, in getting back to this, we're at the point of the biggest shift in human consciousness at the beginning of humanity. And I believe the next 3 to 12 years.
Correct.
It's going to happen.
I agree.
I've studied this. The reason why Donny Epstein is alive, and most people know why, I know at this point why I'm alive, is I am one of the torchbearers bringing this consciousness on in a way that is extraordinary, in a healthy way.
Yeah. Where we actually connect as the beings that, like you talk about, we are all one.
Well, you take a look. Do you want to connect or do you want to love? Do you want to hook up or do you want to love?
Yeah, love.
See, we ask for connection, but love is what it's about. Loves make us responsible. Connection is like, oh, I'm looking for a relationship. Well, how about be the relationship you want to attract?
Yeah.
How about going to do whatever it is? A friend of mine was saying to me, you know, oh, my wife, I think I'm going to break up with my wife and whatever.
Yeah.
I said, why? She said, she does this and this. I said, would you die for her? She said, sure. I said, so what's the challenge with listening to her a little bit longer? He said, but if I die, it's over. I said, no, it's not over. So in answer to it, the first tier of consciousness is based upon a mythology. It's based upon the illusion of scarcity. It's based upon the belief in the physical body, the physical universe is what it's at. And that since the scarcity, I have to bind the energy as my money, bind it as my value, my identity, or what I have to do in the physical universe, I have to have physical pain. I have to be raped or attacked and abandoned because that binds energy. Enough that maybe I'll break through, and those few people who break through it have enough energy to make a change, and their greatness in this first tier of consciousness is the only freaking way someone can have true extraordinary nature is they have to have the crap beat out of themselves. They lost their identity and life beat them up. A friend of mine, Padre Eligio, is one of my heroes. He's a hero of mine. In Italy, a Franciscan priest who has different communities for drug addicts, people who lost their way, says those people who God wants as his servants are always beat up early. They're not meant to fit in, and they try to be fit in because they belong in a world that doesn't exist yet.
Right.
And they know that.
The ones that are meant to change the world are not the ones that are supposed to fit in.
That's right. And now, this is it. Wealth in this model is how much you could bind for yourself of information or energy. The only way that is liberated is through violence or force. In the model of a person has disease, if they have a pimple, they may have a herb or something. If they have cancer, let's give something that could kill the person. You know what I never understood? Why would giving somebody a substance to take in their body, injected or orally, that would make a healthy person sick?
Right.
Why would you think it makes a sick person well? I never got that.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, the same thing in life. So get this.
That's what I'm saying. This is
The
like
model, the model, it is already changed. The dragon is dead, stay away the tail. That's it. It's changed. Because what happens now, you have Airbnb, more revenue than the Hiltons, the Star Wars, the Marriotts together. Facebook, what content do they have?
Right, they don't even know.
You are reaching millions of people. A kid has a viral video, they call it a meme, that's insult to what meme is. They call it a meme, or a viral picture goes out there, and it spreads around without going through all the channels. The second tier of consciousness, this is it. It's based upon faith, not scarcity. The people who have most faith, the people who have the least, because consumption is inverse to faith and love. And that's where life rips stuff away to faith and love. You could choose to love first now, but you need more energy for that, more commitment. The second next tier of consciousness, which is out, it's not based upon the physical of the world. It's based that everything in the physical world comes from a higher dimension. Each dimension has a different rule of engagement. I can engage all of them. I can help bring in the dimensions. There are higher dimensions where time and space are different. And as you love now, your parents' and grandparents' lives are different. So I decide what result do I want, and with that result, I'll say which dimension of reality do you want to play with, because I'll tell you, I was a Trekkie, Kabarache Maru, Captain James Tiberius Kirk. To get through Starfleet Academy, what he did is he had the test goes Kabarache Maru, and they gave him a no-win scenario. And he won. And actually, Spock programmed it. He went into the system, he changed the initial conditions of the system, and he was able to win. The world that's set up right now, as it is for people to be so busy, they don't question the real things. So busy, what is real is no longer important. So busy, the most important fundamentals are not important. So busy for that. That's what it's about. I say, fuck that. There's another reality. Everyone knows it's real beyond that. You know in a moment. Because when you're in the greatest state, there is no time, there is no space, there just is. There's nothing to freaking do.
Yeah, there's just those moments that we all feel. No.
The moment when you're with someone who truly love, and all the space happens. When you're there, that's it. It's beyond the mind. And we know that. I want people to be able to know those energies and have them work in their life in all areas and the space between us, because the space is what's sacred. The second tier of consciousness, the physical universe, is a manifestation of other primary forces. Thoughts are not in your head, they're in the space between us, a relationship to space. What you're doing helping people is to make the space between people come right close. But now they're responsible for what happens in the human interaction in that space. So you got the connection, you get the next step. You have connection with more people. We could go to the moon, different planets, and communicate. What the fuck can we say that's of value to people? If we went back to the time of Christ, and you had no technology with you, how would you show how humanity has advanced in thousands of years? How would you help them with what they don't already know? Is it really evolution?
Yeah.
Second tier of consciousness. What we value most is the free exchange of energy and information. Your culture's bringing us there. I mean, I would fought it so much. You're bringing the free exchange of information. You're bringing that all the structures in life, all the structures, do not serve. They serve what happened hundreds of years ago. And you're looking at that. But what is most value is the real capital, the real equity, the real estate, the energy we bring to the space between us, because that determines what we think, what we feel, what we produce. And we become aware and conscious around all energy as a consciousness. If you look at fossil fuel, you burn fossil fuel. What's the consciousness around that? The greed, the murder, as compared to sun? Or what energy are you using when you're thinking and dealing with people? There's a consciousness always with it. In this next tier of consciousness, you do not have to be wounded to get to greatness. Everyone will be learned. All the organizing forces, from the biological to the emotional to the thought and spiritual forces, then everyone is great in some area and everyone sucks in another. And rather than try to fill the pain, the fact that I'm not enough, and try to fill it, if I feel I don't have enough love, that's because I'm meant to give love. If I feel other people don't love, it's meant I'm to show it.
Yeah.
We have to reverse the polarity, and whatever you think is missing, it's not missing. You're being told, don't go there that way because it's painful. And realize we're all imperfect. Stop trying to be satisfied.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make it about you, I don't want to do it, doesn't feel right or feel good. That is what a 10-year-old does. As long as you're saying, I'm not doing it because it doesn't feel good, you're missing the boat. It's a path of misery, because what doesn't feel good is, what really doesn't feel good,
It's good for you.
is not fulfilling what you're here for. And then you don't care if it hurts. You don't care that stuff, because you're filled with another juice that's so big. The second tier of consciousness, it's about abundance. It's about the space between us. And money won't exist. I mean, this is big changes. What exists as we know it. And it's not about Bitcoin. It's about the human coin. How we'll be paid? We'll receive payment by having access to. Isn't that what you're doing here with your site of people? It's access to. That's prosperity, is access to. I could be in different places in the world. I go in different places. I could visit. I get free meals, free stuff because I've helped people. And I could do this. It's a spiritual account that gets put into. But if you help me, it doesn't mean the answer will come from me. It's in the space of field. That is what the karma is really about. But this is it. What is abundance? Abundance is not how much extra you have. It's not about going to Costco and getting more food you could possibly imagine or consuming more. Abundance is how much you freely give to the field, just because. And the more you charge with your energy in your signal universe, it's like a signal, it's your energetic signature, goes to the universe, the more opportunities you have. And opportunities to what? To experience. Not to stop experience, because achievement stops experience. It's a whole different thing. That's what the second tier is about. And you people will not have to be wounded to get greatness. Because as you know, as you experience, we are one. Your wounding, the reason why you're wounded is to get you to your knees and realize this is not working, and to have a hunger. I felt so stupid as a kid. I was on heavy drugs, doing stuff, and I had a hunger. Because of that, I'm with the most brilliant people in the world, developed most brilliant models. But I would rather not have gone through what I went through in life to get that way. But the fact, when you start realizing that we are one energy, the fact that someone else is suffering and I experience and accept it, allows other people to move through it quicker.
Yes.
Because it's not about me. And because one person suffers, I don't have to. But I could be with the experience of suffering. And now if I just feel shamed or just feel stupid, that's enough to make me go on a different path, to help other people not feel that way. And that's the salvation. So you people are wired to launch. You're wired to launch. I know I have the skills. I know I have the tools to do that. But it means you're going to have uncertainty more often.
Yeah.
You're going to have to let life romance you. You're going to have to start, men, you have to start worshiping the feminine. Feminine, you have to start worshiping the masculine.
Yeah, we need that. It's true.
I mean, worship.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And
that's a different. Does this speak to your heart and soul?
Absolutely, it does. You know,
it's simpler than you think.
It's true, but I believe that we have to evolve in what we value, because, you know, a friend of mine said this to me and it really hit home for me, but he was like, you know, when you're a young man, you know, you're like a knight. That's right. And you're out and you have something to prove, you're out to fight the world, you're out to, you know, just prove yourself, and like, you know, you're a knight, and then then slowly you get a little older and you start to become a prince. Right. You all of a sudden you're a prince. You start to have some accomplishments in life. You start thinking that you're okay. Now maybe I am a little bit good enough, and you're dating and stuff. But you're still not a king, and you can't expect a queen in your life if you're not actually living as a king. You
walk like a king, and your queen will come to you.
Exactly. You can't expect an empire acting like a knight. You know, and you know, a king, you know, the way that he handles things, the way how he's poised, the way that he,
because he accepts the whole range.
Right. So for me, it speaks to that. You know?
Let me answer something. Another thing. This is a big one. Okay. I'm waiting for what it is. See, first I commit to it. Okay. Here. The quality of your life is proportionate to how big you see the system you're in, and how many people depend upon you. For most people, they're depressed, they're anxious, because they make it about themselves.
Wow.
How big is your system? How many people's involved? How big an impact do you want to make? You know, you're having a program here and you say, hey, look at the numbers I have, this is how many followers I have. Wow, this one is great, got 1.4 million. Okay, that's the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Question is, are you focused on that? Or you're focused on how those 1.4 million people are going to help carry the torch of the next tier of consciousness?
Right. How are you actually measuring your true impact, your true energy that you're putting into the world? It's not on some follower.
The rewards we receive is proportionate to the coherence of the energy. You talk about value. Don't try to change values with your mind. It's like a parent saying, you got to love your brother. No. The more energy you have available when you focus on something actually determines the outcome. So what we could talk about in the future is what type of energy there is, what consciousness it brings, and what energy is necessary for the impact you're made to make.
So thank you for watching this special edition with the one and only Dr. Donny Epstein. Do me a favor, y'all, the LCL community, please thank Donny for all the work that he's been doing in the world. He is a legend. He is somebody that I look up to. He's a role model because he is dedicated to helping all of us in humanity really evolve and understand the power, the healing powers that we truly have within us. And he's been doing this for well over 30 years all over the world, dedicating his life to it. And also, Not only has he worked with like tens of thousands of people, but he also just took time out of his life to come and help my social enterprise, Future Founders, that really helps a lot of the minorities and children that are in these inner cities, right, to learn about entrepreneurship, emotional intelligence, consciousness, financial literacy. So, I really appreciate you, Donny. Thank you so much for all the work that you do in the world, for taking the time to come and work with our team, work with our community, and for sharing your story. I can't wait to continue to see your legacy blossom. I love you. Thank you for your work. And on behalf of the entire LCL community, guys, let me know what has impacted you about this season, about this episode. We're coming up to a close, so stay tuned, because right after that, the last episode, we're about to get into the finale. So it's your boy GA. Remember, this is more than just a show, it's a movement. Peace.